All right, so here are the notes that will sort of summarize what we just did in the first video. They're also on a Google Slides in your folder, so they're there for you to refer to. And here's how we're going to practice. We're going to read each sentence, circle all the punctuation, or you're going to make it bold since you'll be working on a keyboard. Identify the base clause and underline it. Identify the subject and make that italicized. Identify the verb and make that bold. If you're not sure how to do these on your keyboard, please ask, all right? I'll let you know, walk you right through it. It's simple. We're going to identify any and all free modifiers and highlight them in a light color and then tell how many free modifiers are part of each sentence. So for example, here's a sample. Okay. Red and curly, her hair makes her easy to recognize. So we have underlined the base clause. It could be true that her hair makes her easy to recognize. Our subject is hair. Notice how it's italicized. Our verb is makes. That's in bold. All right, so there's our base clause. And that means that red and curly, because it's set apart, is a free modifier. It's just telling us more about her hair. And then we would say how many free modifiers are in this sentence? Just one on this one. All right, so we're going to do several together, and then I'm going to leave the last several here for you to try it on your own so that we get some guided practice and then some independent practice as well. Okay, so number one, her hair makes her easy to recognize, red and curly. So right here are the steps if you need reminding. Circle all the punctuation. You're going to make it bold on your keyboard. Identify the base clause and underline it. It could be true that her hair makes her easy to recognize. It could be true that red and curly. All right, well, we're working with the same base clause as the first one, so that's pretty easy to find in this one. Okay, the subject is hair, the verb is makes, so there's our base clause. We're going to highlight our free modifier. It's a free modifier because it does not pass the it can be true that test. And it tells us more about her hair. How many do we have? Just one in this sentence. Number two, her hair, red and curly, makes her easy to recognize. Circle the punctuation. You're going to make it bold. Identify the base clause. Who or what is this sentence all about? Well, it's still about her hair and the fact that it makes her easy to recognize. So we have the same subject and the same verb. Italicize and make it bold. So there's our base clause. We still have one base clause. It's just chopped into two pieces. All right, we have one base clause and one free modifier. Red and curly is still a free modifier because it cannot stand by itself, and it's telling us more about her hair. So we have one base clause and one free modifier. The sample in number 1 and 2 are a good illustration of how those free modifiers can be in different places, right before the base clause, after the base clause, or right in the middle of the base clause. All right, number 3, the sentence grew a little bit. Let's play with this one. Red and curly, her hair makes her easy to recognize, blazing bright from across any room. All right, we don't change what we do. We start with a punctuation. I'm circling it. You make it bold. All right, now we find the base clause. Who or what is this sentence all about? Well, it's still about her hair. It could be true that her hair makes her easy to recognize. It doesn't sound right to say it could be true that red and curly. It does not sound right to say it could be true that blazing bright from across any room. So we still have the same base clause. The subject is hair, the verb is makes. All right, so we still have one base clause here. We have red and curly, which we have already recognized as a free modifier. And now we have another one. Notice that we're going to go from this comma all the way to the period. This is an uninterrupted group of words with no other punctuation. So we're going from mark of punctuation to mark of punctuation. Blazing bright from across any room is another free modifier because it's telling us more about her hair and why it's easy to recognize. So in this case, we have one base clause, but we've upped it to 2 free modifiers. All right? Let's do one more together. The bright and cheery fire crackled in the night, creating a cozy mood. It could be true, circle the punctuation, comma, period. All right, now identify the base clause. It could be true that the bright and cheery fire crackled in the night, or it could be true that creating a cozy mood. Which one sounds complete? The bright and cheery fire crackled in the night. What is the subject? Who or what is this all about? It's about the fire. So I'm putting an S for subject. You make it in italics. What did the fire do? What's the verb? Well, it crackled. There's our verb. I'm putting V for verb. You're going to make it bold. So we have one base clause. Now we have creating a cozy mood. It cannot stand by itself. It's giving us more information about that night, okay, and what the fire did. So that's a free modifier. So we have one base clause, one free modifier. Next page. We'll do one more together, then try it on your own. Blinking in the bright sunlight, Jordan, after hours on his Xbox, resembled a mole emerging from a long hibernation. Circle the punctuation. You're going to make it bold. Okay? Find the base clause. Who or what is this story all about, this sentence? It's about Jordan. That's our subject. What did he do? It could be true that Jordan, after hours on his Xbox. Nope, that doesn't sound right. It could be true that Jordan resembled a mole. Yes, there we go. He resembled a mole emerging from a long hibernation. So we have a subject, we have a verb, we have one base clause. It's been split apart. Okay? Blinking in the bright sunlight is a free modifier. It cannot stand by itself. It's telling us more about Jordan. After hours on his Xbox is a free modifier telling us more about Jordan. So in this case, and then this is all part of the base clause. We don't highlight that. So we have 2 free modifiers and 1 base clause. All right, give 7, 8, 9, 10. Give them a try on your own and submit your work. This is your classwork grade today. If you need help, let me know.